Pew pew, bang bang. Let's talk about toy guns. Welcome back to the Junkman, everybody. It's me, the Junkman. I'm coming back at you with a new video. Before I get started, as always, I want to thank you for watching the watch along Friday night. We watched Star Wars together, raised money for my son's back surgery. I would tell you can go watch it now if you wasn't watching it live stream, but YouTube has put it on a block because Disney's put a claim on it saying that I use their audio, which is fine. I mean, throughout the whole movie it's okay. It's just the last about 5 minutes of the battle scene at the Death Star, they claim that. I disputed it as background sound, so let's hope it gets free. If it gets free, then you can go back and watch it. If you didn't, just me watching Star Wars, but you can watch along with me. We had a lot of fun reading comments, talking about Star Wars. And always, if you want to support this channel, head over to patreon.com or go buy a cool t-shirt like this one right here. That's a cool t-shirt. So, what are we going to talk about today? Toy guns. I'm talking about when we used to play with toy guns and they were fun and they looked like guns. Today you go to the store, if you can find a toy gun, it's probably really bright pink with an orange cap on the end of it or some odd color. But back then, back in the day, and you know, back in the day, 70s and 80s mostly, our toy guns looked like toy guns. Now if you go back to the 60s, their toy guns, they really look like real guns. Check out this commercial of a toy gun from the 1960s. I mean, I thought our guns looked realistic. Now, of course, by the 90s, like I said, they started plugging them with big orange at the front of them on the barrel. And then by the 2000s, they were painting them all kinds of colors, so they didn't look real. This way, toy companies could say they were doing it so kids wouldn't get shot by the police. But we all know the real reason is so toy companies wouldn't get sued by parents that had kids that got shot by the police. We know what you're on to, toy companies. You don't care about the kids. You care about getting sued. Let's be honest. But let's go back and look at toy guns. We're going to look at some from movies, from TV shows, and some generic guns. And I'm not going to talk Star Wars laser guns. I did a whole video on those, so I cut out the laser guns and stuff. These are more like based on real guns. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's actually one gun here from a TV show I didn't even remember I had as a kid, but when I saw it, it blew my mind. I was like, I had that. Or actually, my brother had that, and I remember playing with it. And it blew my mind because I didn't even remember it until I saw a photo of it. So let's just go back here. Where are we going to go? Oh, let's start with these right here. I'll throw these up here. These were, they were in bubblegum machines. Can you believe it? You could get realistic looking guns in bubblegum machines. They call them keychains, but they were cool looking guns. Check this one out. Here's a set of them right here. I think I had a lot of these as a kid. The one I do remember is this one right here, which I believe is a P-38. Some reason I was really into Walter P-38. I don't know why that gun appealed to me so much, but it did. Now, speaking of guns growing up, one of the earliest memories I have with a toy gun, again, I talk about it a lot. My brother had this gun. I didn't have it, but I remember it being around the house. I was usually at my grandparents' house, you know, mixed in with the Star Wars toys and everything. And these were really realistic looking guns, but they were mini guns. They were made by a company called Mark. And they would come in a little case, a little wooden case. You open it up and it had like the little rifle inside. And it looks like it's hanging on a gun rack or something on a wall. It was very cool. Check them out. Here's the miniature historic gun. And there it is with a little case. That's a double barrel shotgun. And here's another one outside the box so you can get a better look at it. This is one of the earliest memories I have of toy guns. This one here I remember my brother having in his little case. When I was looking up pictures, I found this one here of a 45, and it brought back memories of, I think I had that. I do. I don't know if my brother had it and I played with it, but I remember this gun. Brought back some memories. One thing is generic guns. There were different kinds. It was kind of had the little rubber tip on it. It was plastic, you know, and it shoots and it sticks to the wall. You know what I'm talking about? Like in the movie Tag the Assassination Game. A little rubber stamp thing. You shoot it, rubber stamp. Rubber dart gun. A lot of fun. But remember the disc that shot this little plastic disc out? I'm sure they still make them, don't they? Check it out. Here's one. I'm sure when you see it, it's a generic gun. You find it in any cheap toy section. It shot these little discs. You would end up losing them within a week, but it was a lot of fun. Another generic one were like these that shot the little white pellets. Your older brother would always shoot them at you. And they didn't hurt as much as you fear they would hurt. As you can see from the package, even this mom likes shooting it. I think. That's a lady, right? It is. That was a lady, right? And guns wasn't just for boys or for that mom on the package of that gun. Check out this Texas Rose gun. That's a toy gun for any girl looking to be a cowgirl. Or maybe it's a way to tell boys it's okay to play with pink guns. Now let's go to TV guns. Always exciting. There was a lot of cop shows and stuff in the 70s. So there's a lot of toy guns in the 70s. But this one I think is going back to the 60s. It's a little bit before my time. It's the Man from U.N.C.L.E. Napoleon solo gun. Now I don't remember Napoleon ever having a solo gun. All I know about Napoleon is he loved to eat ice cream. Ziggy piggy, piggy ziggy. Well, that's very cool. And you can't think guns without thinking James Bond. I'm sure I could have found a lot of them to look at, but my first memory of a James Bond movie had to be Moonraker. I liked it, haven't seen it in years, but that was my first exposure really to James Bond. I think maybe it's been on TV before that, but that was the first one I remember. And it was about space, and I was into Star Wars, so of course I like Moonraker. And it had Jaws. Why don't they bring that character back, Jaws? I don't know why they don't bring it back. Let's check out the gun for Moonraker. Here it is. It's more of a space age gun, but there's James Bond holding it. The Moonraker space gun. And it shot 100 caps. One of the biggest movies of the 70s had to be Planet of the Apes. Spawned a lot of sequels, a television show. It was the Star Wars of the 70s. And as you know it, they had a series of guns. And I like these guns because not only do you get a gun, you got a mask to go with it so you could dress up like you were a Planet from the Ape. And here's the Planet of the Apes rifle from Mattel. As you can see, it comes with a gorilla mask. Oh, excuse me, an ape mask. That's an ape, not a gorilla. My bad. Although it looks more like a Western gun from the Old West. But it does have an odd, weird magazine clip thing to the bottom of it. I guess to give it more of a Planet of the Apes look. Now let's talk Star Trek. I love the Star Trek guns. I said I was going to stay away from laser guns, but we're going to talk Star Trek. I said my earliest memory of a gun was the toy plastic gun in the case, but this one here is a good memory too, because my brother had this one also. You know, he had more of the early 70s, late 60s toys, and I had more of the late 70s, 80s toys. But he had the Star Trek phaser gun. It was like a flashlight gun. It would show a light on the wall where you put this little disc over it, and you shine the wall, and the light would show like a Klingon ship or something. Here's a picture of it. Take a look at it. Anybody remember this? I loved playing with this thing as a kid. Now here's another Star Trek gun. I don't never remember having it, but it's the Star Trek rocket pistol. That looks like it's going to be really fun when you hit your grandma in the face with it. Now let's go to the gun that I forgot all about. I was looking up guns for this video and I saw this one. It really blew my mind. Have you ever had a toy or something do that? Something you never even thought about, didn't remember at all. If somebody asked you about it, you would say, I don't know what you're talking about. But then you see it and you're like, oh my God, I had that. I remember playing with that. Again, this is probably my brother's because of the year, because it's early 70s. Most of the toys were his, especially gun toys and stuff. But this is from the show Space 1999. And like I said, it's probably my brother's because I know he had the Space 1999 ship. I don't remember the show. I remember of the show, and I know we probably watched it. But I'm guessing it was more his time period than me. But check out this gun. I remember this gun so much. I could not believe it when I saw it. Here it is in the box. The Space 1999 stun gun. It has a laser beam, a projected light target, and different colors. And it even made 3 different sounds. This is from 1976. Let's look at it loose. Here it is out of the package. This is more like the one I remember. Guess I never saw it in the box. One of the coolest cop shows of the 70s had to be Starsky and Hutch. If it wasn't the coolest, they at least had the coolest cop car. Am I right? I like when they put the light on top of the car. I like that they could take the light off and on. That was always cool to me. And I was like, I can't wait till I grow up and get a car and I can put a light on it like that. But then I never did. And then when I got a little older, I found the General Lee and I started caring more about it than the Starsky and Hutch car. But they had guns. And you could get a 2-pack of guns if you wanted to play Starsky and Hutch. Here it is. They come with some fake badges too. So you know if you took this to the playground, you could get yourself shot by some cops really fast. And let's go more into the 80s where we talk TV shows. One of the coolest that almost had an action figure line but didn't, still bummed it never did, was V. Remember V? First it was a mini-series, then it came as a television show. Mark Singer's in it. I'm sure you know it. Everybody loves V. I'm not sure how it holds up. I hadn't seen it since the original days, so let's see how it holds up. But check out this gun. This is the M16 gun from V. I don't know what it was about the 80s, but it seemed like everyone loved M16 in the 80s. Speaking of 80s television shows and guns, how can you do a line of toy guns from TV shows and not talk about the A-Team? Check these out. Here's two different ones. Again, M16, but this time we also have an AK-47. That's right, kids could play with a toy gun of an AK-47 or an M16. Now these were cool because these are the ones that you would pull the little trigger back and it would make a vibrating clicking sound when you shot it that sounded like a gun. It was very cool. You could act like you were BA or Hannibal or one of the other A-Team members shooting at people's feet while you're pointing at their face. But probably the coolest of all the A-Team guns has to be, without a doubt, the M24. Here it is, the M24 assault rifle with target game set. Look at this thing. It shoots those little rubber darts that stick to the wall. It can be a handgun or a rifle when you assemble it all. It even has a scope. Now this is what I call pretty cool. Now M16s were big in the early 80s, but by the late 80s, I think the biggest thing was Uzis. Everybody wanted to act like they had an Uzi or Uzi toys. Don't even hear about the Uzi anymore. But they made water gun Uzis that look real, came with a strap and everything so you could put it on your shoulder, even came with a carrying case. Check it out. Here it is, an Uzi water gun. I'm guessing it's a Uzi. It looks like an Uzi. According to the information, it's the water gun that every kid loves. And you have to use 4 AA batteries. A water gun that uses batteries. As you can see here, you could roll up your sleeves in your yellow shirt, put on some weird looking blue jeans, and clip your extra water magazine to your hip. It even comes with a bag so you can put all your water gun accessories. Now let's talk about it. Let's talk about the coolest toy gun I think ever made. You might tell me in the comment section that it's not, that you know a better gun, and we'll have a debate about that, because I think this might be the coolest toy gun. And you probably like, no, you probably think I'm going to say Super Soaker or something like that. Or, no, this is too cool. From Rambo. That's right, the R-rated movie turned kid cartoon got its own toy gun for the kids to play with. And wouldn't you know it, it's an M16. No, it's not. I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's an M60. Sorry about that. It's the M60 machine gun target game. Look at this thing. It is awesome. Look at all the extra pieces you get. You get the actual strap of bullets that you can wear around you like Rambo did in the movie. It's 2 guns in one. It even has a folding bipod, whatever that is, and it shrivels. And it shoots little soft darts. And it comes with 6 darts. This thing is totally awesome. It even has a little kickstand for it. Now, is that the coolest toy gun you've ever seen in your life? Be honest. Isn't that awesome? Be honest, I don't remember this as a kid. I remember like the little ones that you pull back. They kind of vibrated when you shot. The 18 ones, but I don't remember this Rambo gun. It is awesome. I would have liked it as a kid. I don't care if I was 17 years old, I would still have bought this one. That one's cool. Well, I think that's about it. I think we looked at a lot of toy guns. I probably could look at more, but those were the coolest ones I could find to talk about. So let me know in the comments below. What toy guns did you have as a kid? Did you have toy guns? Come on, if you grew up in the 70s and 80s, I'm sure you had toy guns. Well, that's about it. As always, please subscribe to the channel. Thumb up so I know you like my content, and we'll talk again soon.
Junkman.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.